Oh my gosh, the support group has come together very last minute today, but I'm really excited. I'm feeling hopeful today, and that is a sort of a first for me. I don't know. I'm Laura Haywood. This is the Broadway Shutdown Support Group, and all feelings are welcome here. Lots of us are having a hard time right now. Lots of us are feeling panicked. I am hoping to just remind everybody that there is community out there. Even if we can't join together in person for theater, we can still join together and be on each other's team in every sense of the word. Our guest today is going to be James Harkness from Ain't Too Proud, and we just did a little test run, so his camera phone was working as of 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to see if he's joined the chat yet, and looks like he has, so I'll go ahead to him. Here we go. We're connecting. And there he is. Nice jacket.
I wanted to match your hair. Um,
Thank you. You match very well. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm realizing that I can only control so many things and trying to be positive about what I can control, which for me
Absolutely.
is like my physical health and my mental health. So I meditated today. I got extra sleep. I cooked. I don't think I'm making any money today, but I can't control that. What I can control is like the personal well-being side. So
Absolutely. That's
yeah.
all any of us can. And that's one of the important things I believe about this time period, and is that we are so concerned about all of this external stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are rightful to be concerned about it and worried about all of those things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can only control one thing, and that is you.
Mm-hmm.
You can control how you take care of yourself. You can help with people that are closest to you, but you really can only deal with yourself. I think if people figure that out and learn how to do that, it will ease the stress of this time.
Yeah, that's really smart. How are you taking care of yourself? I imagine that it was a real shock to go from an 8-show schedule to the 0-show schedule.
It was a shock, but it was actually a gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift. And that's something that I'm hoping that we on Broadway, especially, and in other places that are not working, have a moment to realize that it sucks because, the immediate concern is we're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
That is the immediate concern. But I can speak for myself. I've been fortunately, blessedly working on Ain't Too Proud since 2017.
Yeah,
Which
so
has
having a
been,
break from it is not the worst thing in the world.
it really isn't the worst thing. It's going to give me and others an opportunity to heal. You know what I mean? And sometimes that can be an emotional thing, that can be a mental thing, and it's also a physical thing.
Yeah.
As much as I really do actually miss doing the show because I love doing the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Of
My
course.
body gets an opportunity to have a break.
Someone in the
And it's
comments
something.
just asked if you're taking this opportunity to eat some pancakes.
Ha! Hey!
Is that
Actually,
sounds like maybe an inside joke I don't quite understand.
it's because I actually really like pancakes, and I should be looking at these things happening down here. But I'm looking at your eyes and looking.
Well, I'm able to just sort of when you're looking at me, do I show up on the top or the bottom of your screen?
You're on the top,
Okay, yeah,
so
for me as
I'm
well.
looking.
So
I'm looking up here.
when I look at your face, I can actually
Hey,
see the
hi, hey,
comments
Laura.
too. So yeah,
Uh,
people are
but
very
yes, pancakes
excited.
are one of my things. Hey, how are you? Laura Frosty. Hello, Pursuing Sykes. What up? Oh, hey, Felicia. What's happening?
Oh, they're asking, was my hair pink a minute ago? I had my hair back, and the top
She had
was
it back,
actually
but
brown. So yeah, it was tied back. The bottom is much
with the
pinker
fries. Yes,
than
thank you.
yes.
Um, I, Pancakes are one of my favorite things. It's not just a breakfast food for me. It's food. So I'll have pancakes quite often.
Do you make
So,
them at
but
home?
I haven't. Hey, hey, how are you? I haven't had any. It's been like at least 2 days, but I did have frozen. Stop laughing. But
I
I
thought you
did
were gonna
have some
say like
frozen
2
waffles this
months
morning.
or something. Uh,
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
oh, so many
Um,
friends are showing up.
Oh, to make some from scratch. That's actually a really good idea.
I think you should make some pancakes from scratch and Instagram live it like you're doing a cooking show, a televised cooking show, you know, and be like, I'm now adding the eggs. You have to whisk it until the lumps
And the
go
milk.
away.
Yeah, all of those things.
Or you should start like a frozen pancake or delivery pancake review show on this Instagram live thing. Is pretty incredible.
So many things.
And you know, this support group started because the day that all the shows shut down, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm used to being around audiences and fans like 5 or 6 times a week, and I don't know, like, so I just.
Does that say Canadian? Is that what that said?
I did.
Thank you for watching. Do I like blueberry pancakes? This is crazy. Actually, I'm not a big fan of blueberries. I will do a plain buttermilk pancake, or strawberry pancakes are really fantastic, and also banana pancakes.
All right. Well,
I'm kind of simple.
Those don't sound simple. What happened?
Uh-oh.
I think I
virtual pancake party and glass of wine. Well, I don't drink, but everybody else can have a glass of wine. Say what?
I said you can have the pancakes and I'll have the wine.
There you go.
Man, this is becoming a pancake Q&A. Somebody wants to know peanut butter chips in your pancakes.
I know, and I've never tried that. I may try that. So thank you for the suggestion.
Oh, I just realized which Felicia you were talking about. I met Felicia when I
the one and the only Felicia Boswell.
Yes, hi Felicia.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Felicia Boswell is, go find her on the Instagram.
Just
Felicia Boswell.
Felicia Boswell, spelled like
Felicia Boswell is everything.
Yeah.
She's everything.
Cool. Thanks for joining us, Felicia. Maybe you'll be my guest on a support group one of these days.
Yes, please.
And look, one of my favorite people in the whole world. Do you know Marshall
said hi, lady.
the Fourth? Hi, Felicia. Marshall Mabry the Fourth just chimed in. He says, "Can we get an Instagram live to show the 5 fiercest turns on Broadway?" And Marshall is a star. He, at 17 years old, did a TED Talk on the intersection of Shakespeare's literature and being a young Black man in America.
Wow, that's incredible.
Keep your eyes open for him because he's going places.
Yay. What's his name again? Wait, because I want to write this down.
Yeah, write it
down. So that I can go and find you.
Marshall Mabry the Fourth.
Okay, well, first of all, with that name, the Fourth.
I know. His Instagram
Ready
is
for the
Marshall
stage.
W. MabryIV.
Mabry.
Yeah. And his TED Talk's amazing. Like,
Sweet.
I am not that into Shakespeare. I know
there it is.
That's sort of sacrilege, but then I saw his talk and I was like, I want to go see all the Shakespeare shows again, read them all again. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, the throat is golden. That's about Felicia, and her throat is golden.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing her in Emoji Land, which unfortunately is closing, but
closed, yeah.
Baby. That voice, if you've never heard Felicia Boswell sing, I know this is supposed to be about me, but it's not really about me.
No, it's about the community.
It's about the community.
How we lift each other up and how we're here for each other in the good times and the bad. And watching you raise up one of your friends and community members, that is what this is about.
Well, you know, I love her. We've been through a lot. We did a production of Dreamgirls back in the day, and been a friend and a confidant to me. And, you know, we've had our moments because we're human beings, but to have someone in your life that cares about you the way that she cares about me, and as talented as she is, that she's someone that supports me and helps me through things. I've had a little while back, I was having a moment before Ain't Too Proud came into my life. And I was doing Beautiful on Broadway, gratefully so.
That's when I met you, when you were doing Beautiful.
Right. That's a whole something about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think that's about Emoji Land. Emoji Land was great.
Yeah, people are saying they didn't get to see it because the tickets they had, were for shows that ended
We're,
up
we're,
being canceled. Yeah.
yeah, Emojiland was actually really great. I just went honestly to support Felicia,
Hmm.
and I was not expecting to like to see this show that really speaks to now in a really wonderful way, but also just was so full of talent and some really, really great music.
It
So
actually
had
speaks
some
to
incredible,
today even more now than it did. I was like, oh,
sure,
it's got like allusions to immigration and racism and xenophobia. And now I'm like, oh, the virus, it's all about the
and
virus
the virus
and how
and
the
being
virus
shut
is,
in and
and how everyone who
certainly.
gets it, like you never know who the next person to get it is. And I
Hmm.
wrote a sort of half joking tweet the other day that was like, who knew Emojiland was a documentary?
That's good.
Right? I know, but and I feel like we need it more than ever. Felicia, do you
Sure.
know if anybody filmed it? I wonder.
My thing's not scrolling anymore. People stopped. They were like, "We don't like this guy. We're out."
No, there they are. Look, if it's Felicia and Marshall all day, I'm cool with that. And like, I've never had a particular thing for uniforms. I know some people really like get turned on by uniforms, but that cop outfit, woo!
Everything was in the right place.
I was
Everything was
afraid
in the
something
right
might
place.
pop out, but I wasn't mad at it. Felicia says she thinks that Emojiland was filmed for archival purposes, and that is good because even if it's not
Oh,
available to the public, it exists, and that makes me happy. Ow,
right.
ow.
Hey, look, Felicia, I'm trying to catch up on these because my thing is not scrolling
Oh,
anymore.
sure. Well, I'll keep
But
an eye on them. Somebody says my group met you after Ain't Too Proud last Wednesday night. It was phenomenal.
oh yes, hi you guys. Yeah, they were wonderful. Oh my goodness, my phone is acting up right now.
Okay, well, I
Um,
can still see you. So,
Great, which is the most important thing.
and hopefully people at home can still see you. I'll keep an eye on the comments and let you know if there's anything people need you to answer. Somebody
Okay.
says I'm Team Harkness, so I won't be leaving. Are you taking voice lessons while you're on downtime?
I am not. I am absolutely doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Except, you know what I have been doing is I've been getting out and walking around a little bit and seeing the city
Mm-hmm.
and keeping myself to myself. Um, because I understand that we're supposed to stay like quarantined and they want us to stay within our four walls, and that's a difficult thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what I'm believing is I no, go take a walk in the forest. I mean, not the forest, but I live up where I live near a park and there's plenty
Mm-hmm.
of trees and stuff like that. And it gives me the opportunity by myself to just go and do something that I actually don't really get to do because of the way Ain't Too Proud is for me, and for all of us in reality. When I'm off, I'm in bed.
Mm-hmm. I
I go
bet.
to bed.
And
I
physical
sleep.
therapy, I hope.
And physical therapy, and I just started acupuncture, and now those two things, unfortunately, which I was hoping in this time off, talking about healing, I was like, okay, I have off till April the 12th, so now I can really dig into my acupuncture, and I can dig into my physical therapy, and I can do all of this stuff. And then, of course, things have been shifting day by day by day by day, so now those places are closed off. So now it's just an opportunity to rest. I should be taking some vocal lessons, and at some point in time, I certainly will do that. But I've been writing, which I've been missing, and somehow I think this time, as for a lot of people, has brought out their creativity.
Totally. I
And
I was saying yesterday, I think that we may end up with like an artistic baby boom because all of
sure,
the world's best artists are trapped inside. And I don't know very many people who perform for a living who also don't create. And they would do a lot more creating if they had the opportunity. I mean, how many people
right,
have you ever heard say, if only I had just a month where I could just close myself in my apartment and do nothing but write, or nothing but write songs, or nothing but learn a new instrument, or paint a painting, whatever. And like if we can
right.
all look at this like that, if we can set the panic about our finances and about the world and about our loved ones, I mean, it's not like you can really turn that off. But if you can set it
Yeah.
aside even for an hour a day and just
Yeah.
create, we might end up with the greatest art of our time.
Yeah, I think some really beautiful things are going to come out of this time period. We're given an opportunity to reset
Mm-hmm.
and to reconnect with ourselves on whatever levels those need to be. And we're also given an opportunity to reconnect with people in ways like this. You know, thank God for the technology right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because imagine had this something like this happen 15 years ago, it would not be what we have now. Like it's like literally everything is at our fingertips. So we have the opportunity to like just stay connected, and I love what's happening right now is a lot of people are offering free classes,
I
and I
know.
think that is magnificent. Um, and then I have a friend of mine who is he's been offering free voice lessons, and if you want to learn a little bit how to play an instrument and things like that, and I love that people have opened themselves up to doing things like that.
Well, I've always wanted to learn how to dance. You want to teach me?
You know, actually, someone reached out to me the same day that you reached out to me about this. Another friend of mine reached out to me about doing an online class, and then another friend today, Jeffrey Schechter, who's amazing.
Uh-huh.
He also reached out to me about possibly doing something, and I would love to. Now, for me, it's just about figuring out how to do that. Like,
I know.
you know,
Someone I asked to do this with me was like, had to say no because they were so overwhelmed with online requests for
oh
other
wow,
things to do. There are so many concerts, and I have a friend who's doing a concert called the Quarantine Cabaret, and Broadway World is doing living room concerts, and
oh,
you know, and Laura Benanti is gathering high school kids' performance from their school musicals that that closed before they opened, and
oh, that's
it's
wonderful.
there's so much online content, and you're right. If this had happened 15 years ago,
It wouldn't be.
what would we all be doing with ourselves?
People would be going stir crazy in a way that is not going to happen now. Now we get to put ourselves out there, even if it's just having your camera on live and talking,
Yeah.
because someone's going to want to listen. Someone's going to feel similarly to what you do, and it's a wonderful outlet.
I do it mostly for myself, honestly, because if I'm not broadcasting in some way or another, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah,
And if it can bring
absolutely.
other people joy and comfort, that's awesome. But that's kind of always been the bottom line of the content I create is whatever I need, I put out there. And then I
Sure.
can, if I'm having a bad day, I'll put on Twitter, like, I believe in you, you can do this. And even though
Yeah.
I wrote it, I can then
Yeah.
look at my phone and feel like somebody else told me that. And it gives
Sure.
me a different confidence than if I just thought it in my own head.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I hope this gives you a chance to, hey, thank you, Paulette. I'm having, hey, Graham, what's up? I'm having to scroll manually. And I haven't seen Mr. Fleming in a minute, so that's lovely to see. Hey, performing. I know Texas University is still doing their show via live stream.
Oh,
Texas, okay.
interesting.
I
That's
did not know that.
that's great. Oh, hi, Jelani Aladdin. Jelani was my
Hey,
very
Dwayne.
Jelani Aladdin was my very first guest on the support group. And
Oh, very cool.
yeah, Jelani, we had over 700 people watch that day that you came on, and he sang us a song from Hercules. It was pretty awesome.
Wow. He's a
What I'm
talented one.
wondering
There.
is if your biggest fan of all time is watching us right now, which is my mom.
Huh. Hey, Mom.
I don't know if she's watching. She was driving last time I talked to her, so she may have to watch the replay. But can I tell everyone the story of how you and my mom met?
Sure.
All right.
Go
So my
ahead.
parents live in Oakland, California, which is right by Berkeley Rep, which is where Ain't Too Proud started before it came to Broadway. And my parents have season tickets, so they went to see Ain't Too Proud. And James and I had become friends when he was in Beautiful. We actually met at an event at Jordan Roth's house. And he gave my
Oh
sister and
man, yes.
me a tour at
Making
beautiful,
Mondays.
yeah, Making Mondays,
That was a really cool thing.
and it was an experiment with what you can make. And he, it didn't end up being a thing that continued, but he was like, I want to try something and be creative. And he did, like,
Yeah,
pretty amazing. Um,
yeah,
and definitely inspirational. So that's how you and I met. And that was like 4 years ago, maybe. Anyway, my
yeah.
parents did not know that I knew anyone in Ain't Too Proud, but as they always do, they take a picture of the cast list and they say, like, do you know anybody? But before that happened, my mom texted me at intermission and said, uh, that there was one guy, and they had front row seats, and she said there was one guy who kept making eye contact with her, and she was like swooning over it and loving it. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Well, if you have a chance, like, look for my friend James Harkness. And she was like, that's the guy, that's the guy. So I texted James during intermission, and he found my mom in the front row and started winking at her and stuff. It was awesome. So now
It was really, really funny.
so now
Because I didn't know it was your mom. She was just someone in the front row, and she was really enjoying the show. So, yeah, I made eye contact.
Yeah.
Very easy thing to do. So it's
I
so
mean,
great.
are you surprised that someone I'm related to would be super engaged and excited?
Not at all. Not at all. It's great.
Yeah. So Mom, when you watch the replay, we're thinking about you.
Well, that is really sweet. I hope you're doing well, Mom. Or when you watch this, that I hope you're doing really well.
What you're eating something? What are you nourishing yourself with? If it isn't pan.
Roasted almonds, roasted salted almonds, some grapes, some pineapple juice, and some coconut water.
Oh, you are being healthy. No?
Because in the kitchen, I also have Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
Multiples?
Two of them.
Okay, well, good. You know what? You're going.
I do all the things.
Yeah.
I do all the things. I'm like this when it comes to food. I love vegetables and salads and all of that kind of stuff. And at the same time, I will eat ice cream and cake literally right before I go to bed at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Wow. So yes, the chicken sandwiches.
I have not tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
It took me a long time.
Yeah.
It took me a really, really, really long time because when the craze was happening, I was like, I like Popeye's chicken. It cannot be all that incredible. So, and one day I actually happened to go into Popeye's, like, because I was so out of the phenomena of it, I kind of forgot about it in a way. And then one day I went into Popeye's because I wanted chicken.
Uh-huh.
And I was like annoyed because I was like, why is there this crazy long line right now? And then it hit me. And then I was like, okay. And someone was like, well, did you get the sandwich? And I was like, no, that's not why I went in there. I went in there to get chicken. So it took me until actually last month was the first time I tried it.
And it's a keeper? I should try it?
It is really good. Which Popeyes? What? Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
There's only one.
Actually, I would have to say I like the Popeye sandwich. New stock up on essentials, James. Popeye's chicken sandwiches are stock. Actually, no. You know what's stock for me?
Tell me.
It is cereal. I'm a huge cereal person.
What about milk?
I love
Did you get
cereal.
enough milk?
I did. I went out to get milk today.
I have not eaten cereal in like 2 years because it's my, it's like one of the things that my like health and nutrition community, they say cereal, but I've eaten cereal the last 2 days.
Cereal's the best thing.
I have it. It's been in the freezer forever. And I was like, I got to make room for all the protein that I need to get and freeze. So
it's one of my favorite things.
You like sweet cereals?
Yeah, but I do like my healthier type cereals, with like almonds and, things of that nature and fiber and stuff. And then I have the complete opposite, which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's probably my all-time favorite cereal. So if anybody's watching, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Thank you very much.
Oh, we have Michael
Uh,
Ritz, who's a Broadway guy. He's
hey,
chimed in.
Michael.
Lucky Charms is his favorite. I'm a Frosted Mini Wheats girl. Although I have not had that in a very long time. I've just been eating Cheerios and All Brand. But I'm gonna
Cheerios is great.
I think I'm gonna next time I make a grocery run, I'm gonna get some Frosted Mini Wheats. Oh, I want them right now. They're like dessert in a breakfast bowl.
Frosted Mini Wheats are great.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We have a vote for that. Everybody, what's your favorite tier? Okay, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yes, but
Captain Crunch.
and Captain Crunch, definitely enjoy that. I am a Frosted Mini Wheat
Felicia
person
says
as well.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is her favorite.
Honey Bunches of
Sweet
Oats
Sight,
all the time
Honey Bunches of Oats. Grape Oats.
with
Aaron
almonds.
says grape
And
nuts.
I love
also
grape nuts.
love
You know what?
grape nuts. Cocoa
Grape Nut
Puffs.
Flakes. Honey Nut Cheerios,
Grape
certainly.
Nut Flakes, huh?
Grape Nut Flakes. I like grape nuts, but they also make Grape Nut Flakes.
Mhm.
Grape Nuts Flakes. Say that fast, ATAC. And it's it's really great.
Honey Nut
Honey Nut
Cheerios, Frosted
with
Flakes.
fruit.
We're gonna have to make this a cereal blog. Ooh, Reese's Puffs.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. I actually haven't had those in a long time.
Oh, Laura Lynn says she's coming
She's
to the
gonna
show on
come
April
and
18th.
bring me
She's gonna
cereal.
bring you some cereal. Anything frosted, I'll eat. Wait, somebody says Twix. Is that a cereal? Is there Twix cereal?
Maybe. Or maybe. I did not know.
Oh, my friend Gina just chimed in. She's very excited
Hey,
to see you.
how
We
are
have a
you?
vote for Cracklin' Oat Bran for the cereal.
Cracklin' Oat Bran. That's incredible.
Yeah, that tastes like oatmeal cookies with milk. We could just sit here listing cereals for.
I know. We could.
Oh, and Kim in Colorado says there's a restaurant near here that only serves cereal.
There used to be one in Times Square it was a Kellogg's place.
Oh yeah.
And it shut down really quick because I was kind of like, because someone was like, why don't you go in there? And I was like, I'm not going to go into a restaurant that only serves cereal, personally. I'm like, when I can do that at home.
Yeah.
Certain things I don't mind, but that was kind of like, not so much for me.
You know what
So-
I have just recently tried is at Milk Bar, which is a dessert place. They have this cereal milk. Like they use cereal milk as an ingredient in pastries. So like they'll soak
Stay strong and bright. Thank you very much. I hope you're safe and well as well. I really am. I'm doing incredibly well right now. Again, this is actually a really, really good time, and I'm truly grateful for this time off. You know, I really am. And I hope that my ATP family. You're coming in August. Wonderful. I'm hope that my ATP family is well. We have our own group chat thing that we do, so we're constantly checking in with each other and sending things to keep each other laughing and in the know and stuff like that. So yeah.
What's the last thing that you sent to the group chat?
I stumbled across this website. It's actually in my Insta stories of this really okay, whatever. It is what it is. This really overweight woman, and you just see her from here up, and the caption says, "She said he grabbed her neck," and her neck is like that big. And so it was just this thing where it's an out loud laugh funny thing for me because it's just like, with what? Like, you know, it's something it's funnier when you have to see it because her neck is it's so big that you're like, and a friend of mine wrote with a lasso and I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, I'll check out your stories. It sounds like you guys have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing I sent to the group chat.
Yeah, awesome. And you're in touch with your friends and family, making sure everybody's doing okay?
Yeah, they're all fine. My family lives in Texas, so which is where I'm from, El Paso, Texas. Go Highlanders.
Do you get a sense of how different it is? Like, I don't really know. My family's all in the Bay Area where they're sheltered in place, which is even more serious than what's going on in New York, which is just a like, don't leave your house unless you have to. Where
Yeah.
shelter in place is more like a curfew. What's it like in Texas, in El Paso? Are they just going about their lives like normal, or
Pretty much. I
shut
mean,
down?
my mom is older, so she has a tendency to stay home anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and her immune system is a little weak. So like she's one of those people that if there are too many people and like people, people love to love on you and hug on you, and there have been times when she's had to say politely, hopefully that people understand, is that she can't have too many people doing that to her because it makes her sick quickly.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think everybody's going to be like that for a while. Like, I think the casual hug might be out, when you're like,
yeah, and
oh
I
my
have to
gosh,
say
so good
that's
to
sad.
see you, with like somebody you don't know that well, and
Yeah,
you know,
and it
um,
makes me sad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an affectionate type person. I think a lot of us are,
mhm.
and it's sad being in a time where you're afraid to shake someone's hand.
Yeah. The elbow
Where you're,
bump.
and the elbow bump is fun and all, but it it takes away that connection. And yeah, I'm not gonna. I met someone's family the other day, someone's mom, and because I like this man a lot, and he's been incredibly kind to me, and he was like, "These are my parents," and my immediate intention was to want to go in and give a hug,
Yeah.
but of course, she's an older person, so she she did this, and I was like, right, we can't really do that anymore.
Well, I think
And
we not at this moment. I think moving forward, it's going to be a question of like, how are we feeling about hugs? And if both people are into it, then you do it. But I think that there's a lot of like, someone sent me an article a few months ago about how like when heterosexual couples go out to dinner, the men always shake hands and the women always hug, and was like, why is that? Why do
because
I've never
straight men are afraid of physical
Well,
contact.
sure, but also
So there's
like
that.
there are some women who'd rather shake hands too. And I think that
Sure.
now we can use this as an excuse to be like, let's check in, like the casual contact, what are you into, to make sure that everyone's like into it.
And that's a really good valid point. I was talking to someone recently about this time period where we have lost the sense of personal space,
Mm.
especially in big cities. You forget what personal space means. You stand in line and people are like right, like
Yeah.
up on your back, and it's like we actually don't need to be that close to each other in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is, and now I'm watching people who are like sitting on opposite sides of the train,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Wait,
we're
are you still
definitely,
getting on trains?
yeah,
Oh, wow. I
like this,
mm-hmm.
like this.
Like this. You're the first
Yeah,
person I talked to who's actually getting on the train. I know people who are going outside to like, go jog along the West Side Highway, or to, read in the sun, but I haven't heard anybody who's like traveling, anywhere they can't walk to. Are they totally empty, the trains?
no,
No?
they're emptier than we've ever seen them,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not totally empty. No, people are. Look, you still have my opinion, you still have to, if you're going to go out and if you have that far to go, unless you have enough money to hop in a car,
Mm-hmm.
the train is the way to be. But you also have to be responsible, you know?
Oh,
So,
sure. Well, no
so it,
judgment. I don't know anybody who's getting in a car or a taxi either. I just,
right.
people. The one thing about living in New York is there is a bodega on every corner where you can get toilet paper and, a banana and whatever. So I didn't mean to sound judgy. I really am not. I was just
Oh,
surprised
no,
because I
no.
haven't
Did
talked to
did I
anybody.
come across that way? I'm sorry.
No, you
I
didn't.
didn't.
You didn't. Now we're both apologizing for things neither of us did. I'm
uh,
I'm just curious because that's been the biggest change in my life is
Not taking the train.
is not taking the train anywhere. And really, the place that I always took the train was to Broadway shows. And
Sure,
I basically
sure.
have no life now because all I ever did was go to the theater. And
Right.
I didn't go quite as much as you did. Um, but I, like 4 days a week was a average week, and a 6 show week was frequent. And, you
Sure.
know, so
Trains are being cleaned, not cars. And there's definitely truth in that. And New Jersey Transit have been mostly empty from what you've seen and heard online. Well, I'm sure that they are because people are afraid.
yeah,
They're afraid to go out and again, I just say you have to. I say you be a little bit responsible. You don't. Once you get on the train, you swipe your thing. If you're carrying bags, your hands are full. If you're not carrying bags, you put your hands in your pocket or you wear gloves. And you don't have to hold and do all that kind of stuff, especially now because the trains aren't full.
right.
There's no jockeying for a seat. So, you sit down, keep your hands on your book or your phone or whatever, and then you
Hmm.
get up and you walk off the train and you go through the turnstile and you don't have to actually touch anything,
Yeah. Well,
you
yeah, you
know?
don't now. And I think that's, you know, we're all creating balance and we're all finding balance. There are two things
Oh
in
my
common
God. Hold
that,
on a second.
wait,
Hey, Anthony.
yeah, we've got some
Um,
wiggles. We've got some wiggle
Mr.
presents.
V Wiggle is watching this right now, and so Anthony Anthony created the Wiggles, and
A legend.
he truly is a legend, and it's so good to see you on here. Hey, Spencer, I love you.
Tell me
Um,
about your Wiggles experience because I saw a photo of you in your pinned tweet. You've got some Wiggles action happening.
so the Wiggles, when we were in Toronto doing the show at the Princess of Wales Theatre, this group of guys were sitting in the front row in all the plaids and cool hats and stuff, and I was like, "Who are these guys?" And they were like,
Oh, so they're basically pulling a my mom, huh?
they were like having the best time sitting in the front row, just big smiles on their faces. And I was like, whoa. And then I saw a picture posted online of these six guys. So we had this really great picture of the five of us standing in a row, looking like this with and this like really beautiful picture. So people would stand in front of that picture and mimic the pose. So you
Uh-huh.
had like these six guys standing in front, mimicking our Temptations pose. Anthony started following me, and we started communicating a little bit. And I looked into who the Wiggles were, and they're quite amazing what they do and how they touch and reach out to all of these kids and inspire them and everything. And then one day, Anthony sends me a message. I was on before we got to Broadway. I took a vacation and I went home to see my family
Hmm.
and down in Texas, and I eat a lot. I enjoy food, as a lot of us do.
Pancakes, chicken sandwiches, cereal,
All the
almonds.
things.
We've touched on it all tonight.
So for a second, I started. If I would go to some place that I liked the food, I would do these little food posts. And so one night after I went to this barbecue joint in El Paso, Texas, that I can't think of the name of it right now. But the food was really good. It's off of anyway. I was going to tell you where it was.
I mean, we might have people in El Paso watching. If you think of
There
anything,
might
tell
be.
us.
And he reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, mate, I have an idea. Would you be interested in coming to Australia?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure, I want to go to Australia. But the other part of my brain was going, a lot of times in the world and in this business, you connect with people that say, "Hey, would you like to such and such?" And then it never turns into anything.
Hmm.
Um, But I said, yeah, I would definitely love to. He's like, well, I have this idea. You love to eat, you love to sing, you love to dance, so he's like, I have this idea in my head. And I was like, yeah, sure. Couple of days later, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 days later, he's like, okay, he gets back to me. He's like, okay, so these people are going to get in touch with you. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And this is going to happen. And I was like, no, wait, what? Wait, seriously, and sure enough, the ball got rolling and I ended up they flew me out to Australia to
That
do
is
this.
no joke of a flight either. Like,
Oh,
that's no
no.
puddle jumper.
It was, and I had a couple of issues and they rolled with me getting out to Australia and I didn't know what I was walking into. And I was actually, frankly, and I told him this, I was really nervous because I was like, you saw me on stage in a show, and that's one thing, but now you are expending your time and your effort and your money
Mm-hmm.
to fly me out, and you have no idea anything about me beyond you saw me do on stage and some of my Instagram posts. But now you're going to entrust me with your product. And that freaked
Wow.
me out a little bit because I was like, what if I suck? You know what I mean? Like, what
Oh.
if I get it? No, but it's an honest thing. It's like,
Well, of
what if
course, I don't mean to dismiss your feelings. I just can't imagine you ever being, I mean, you're so wonderful.
there were several auditions that I've been on that would challenge that statement.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll say this.
um,
You clearly have put in a lot of effort in order to make it look effortless.
as well, it is what we do,
Right,
you
I know.
know.
But so then when we watch it and we're like, oh, obviously he's amazing at everything, it's a testament to how much work you've done, but it also makes it easy for somebody like me to be like, oh, I'm sure it just came naturally. So I'm glad that you
No.
remind us that you're human and that you have struggles
So,
like the rest of us.
so human. So just telling this whole story. Hey, there's more awesome wiggles. Yes, yes. Oh, are you still there, Anthony? Look, my thing is not scrolling, so I'm having to manually scroll. My 18-year-old heart is so happy. Oh, the wiggles are my childhood fruit salad. That's hilarious. Um, so anyway, let me finish telling you this story.
So the
So
Wiggles, after never having actually met you, just seeing you on stage and online, they fly you to Australia.
they fly me to Australia, and it was the most amazing. We shot 13 episodes in 5 days.
So you're like a Wiggle now.
I'm like an honorary wiggle. um, and yeah, I have my own. This is also crazy. I have my own show called Le James Cafe that is under the umbrella of the Wiggles that I think initially was maybe that it was going to be like vignettes that they were going to put into one of their shows, but Anthony reached out to me one night and he's like, we're getting ready to show this to our team after they had been editing and everything. And he was like, I'll get back to you with how it's going to go. And he gets back to me and he was like, hey, mate, they loved it so much that it's going to be a standalone. And I read that and I was like, I don't know what that means. And
It's your own
he
show?
wrote back and explained that it's going to be its own thing. And I just kind of went, huh? Like the trying to understand what that means. Like eventually on Netflix in America, under like the kids programming, you'll be able to click on Le James Cafe and watch
You.
and all the other people that are a part of it because everyone's a part of it, but it just happens to be.
But your name's on the cafe. That's amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And way to go,
Thank you.
Anthony. You found the right guy.
I look here. There's an interview that I did with him as we were driving from the airport to go do the filming, and I was curious to know why me
Mm-hmm.
out of anyone that he could have chosen. And one of the things that Anthony really, really wants to do, he's one of these people that I really wish that there were thousands upon thousands of more people like him in the world. Because his heart is so gigantic and it's so open and it's so giving. But he wants people to, like, he wants kids that have been watching the Wiggles for so long to see that there are so many other things out there
Mm,
in the world.
yeah.
That a lot of these Australian children and more that have been watching the show that have only seen the Wiggles, and they all ish look like Anthony.
Hmm.
And he was like, I want to bring more to this show. I want kids to understand that don't get to see people that look like you. And he was like, I want that to be part of our show. And he's been reaching out and bringing all these different races and things into the show, and exploring these different topics and stuff. And just for kids in that age range of like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And I
Hmm.
think that's such an incredibly wonderful thing to do. And that he wanted me to be a part of that is such an honor.
Oh,
It really
yes.
is.
I love it. And I am sorry to say that I hadn't known that, and that clearly I'm not paying close enough attention to your social media, but um,
I haven't really been I haven't really been putting a lot of that out there because I wanted to wait until I could.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that it has gone, it's out there in Australia. They finally premiered their new The Wiggles World in
Hmm.
Australia. Now I can actually start putting stuff out there. How are you keeping? I'm so late on a lot of this stuff.
That's okay.
Um, oh, Eli. Hey, so hey, Miss Zoller. So earlier I was talking about the friend of mine who has been offering music lessons or vocal lessons or
It's
instrument
Eli
lessons.
Zoller.
Eli
I
Zoller.
know
And
Eli, and he's
so
going
his
to be a
mom just
guest
reached
coming
out.
up on the we're he's going to be my guest uh on Saturday. And I
Oh,
don't
I
know if
love
his
that
mom
man.
knows this, but we are on weekend episodes of the support group. I'm gonna be having musicians on who are gonna be sharing music. So Eli's gonna play some songs, and then on Sunday I'm having Drew Gasparini on, who's also gonna play some songs. And so
That man is
yeah,
incredible. I really
but
want
I
to meet
saw
him one of these
Eli
days.
Z's mom go by, but I didn't realize it was my Eli Z.
Well, I mean, mine,
I know.
because we wrote a song together.
You did.
So, yeah, there's a song that I wrote that I came up with while I was doing Beautiful the Musical that was based on a line in the show. And
Oh, cool.
and I kept hearing, you hear things every night, every night, every night, every night. And one of the lines was, "Oh, I can't bear to say goodbye." And because Carol and they were all like break, there was a moment where Carol's leaving to go. She's leaving and she's going to move to California.
Right.
So, and I would like hear that every night. Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
can't bear
right
to say
before
goodbye.
you've got a friend.
Yes, right before you got friend. And so one night I was like, I can't bear to say goodbye. I was like, that actually is a good lyric. So I don't know how it turned into what it turned into, but that's where I can't bear to say goodbye, though I know the pain I've caused you. It's hard to look you in the eye, the place I can no longer turn to. I got lost along the way, trying to dance between the lines. Got turned around in circles running side. 'Cause I can't bear to say goodbye. And I this country-ish song came out of it. And I kept writing, and then I did a convo. And I don't even remember honestly how Eli came. Oh, wait. I did a thing at 54 Below. We did a Broadway, the TV show, and I loved that TV show. Someone recommended me to sing in that, and so I reached out and I did, and that's how I met Eli. And I dug his energy so much, and it was like, well, let's stay in touch. And when I was doing my concert, I wanted to work with him, and I wanted him to sing the song. I wanted to sing it, but then with the way that I structured my show, I was debuting as a singer-songwriter, but I was like, no one sit and sing for an entire show. So I was like, let me you were freezing a few times, but I was like, let me reach out to people and invite people in. And he totally wanted to do it. And so he actually sang the song the very first time.
Wow.
And then later on, I did this thing for Broadway World where I sang it with him accompanying me with one of our violin players from our show. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, listen, unfortunately, I'm getting an alert from my phone that my battery's about to die. We've also been going for almost an hour, which is amazing.
It's crazy. That's why you plug there's this thing called the plug.
Yes, but listen, I have the plug right here. I had my phone plugged in while I was doing this with Javier Munoz the other day. And the audio didn't come through.
Got it.
So
got it.
Having the plug in on this stupid design that won't let you have like the plug is also the headphone jack, and it's also the microphone. So
that's why I'm still an Android user.
Well, yours is working better than mine today. But yes, so I can plug my phone in. Thank you very much for the tip.
You're welcome.
But the sound on the Instagram Live doesn't work while it's plugged in. So that's the issue. Felicia just says, beautiful interview. Thank you. Felicia, it is an honor to have you I was going to say the audience, but to have you part of the community. This is a support group. It's for all of us. And you better believe, Felicia, I'm about to DM you about having you on as my support group guest. So, and there's one other thing we have to do before we go, which is, other than my mom and maybe your mom, your two biggest fans are here. They call themselves the Broadway Broads of the Bay. And they also discovered you during your Berkeley run, have seen the show countless times. They were supposed to see it next week. They had something like 10 shows scheduled in 7 days and had to cancel their trip. But
they've been great to us.
I met them through social media and then in person. And every time I talk to them, they bring you up because they love you. They're all too proud so much. So everybody follow them too, because they put out great content on YouTube and on Instagram. And everything. So let us know, tell us where we can find you while we cannot find you at the Imperial Theater, we can find you on social media. So you used to be Lord Harkness, but you changed it.
I changed it. Well, because Lord Harkness, I'm still that, and that's still what I'm called. But I wanted to change it to something easier so that people who say leave the theater or whatever, and they know that my name is James Harkness. And then if you go, it's easier to find me because Lord Harkness, people weren't finding me. And
oh, good. I was afraid that your title got
oh, no. No. I am still the Lord.
He's been defrocked.
I have not. I'm still the Lord. Okay. Let me tell you a quick funny story about, first of all, social media is becoming very, very important, and I'm trying to find ways to build my audience because that is part of what we do. So I just found it easier to use my actual name.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'll tell you a story about Lord Harkness.
Okay. And if we go dark, it's just because my phone died. So apologies. Okay, give it to me.
So this is about Anthony. So in all these communications with Anthony Wiggle, he would say Lord. And so I just thought, because my handle is Lord Harkness, so it would be like, hey, Lord, such and such and such and such and such. Lord, such and such and such and such and such. All right, Lord, such and such. And I was just like, okay, cool. I get there at the airport, and he's like, Lord. And then I realized that, because the other thing that, like, when the lawyers got in touch with me and all of that stuff, everyone called me Lord. And it didn't really dawn on me until I got there that they actually thought, not that my name wasn't James, but that it was
a title,
a thing. And so they still call me Lord. So, like, being there in Australia, shooting this TV show, like going from the recording studio to the costume place to and everything, and everyone's like, hey, Lord, heavy Lord. And so, yes, I am still
the Lord.
The Lord.
All right, dear Lord.
Thank you, Asmaret, Geber Mikel, and Nina Lafarga for that nickname.
I need to hear that story sometime. I'm a big fan of Asmarette's, but now is not the time because I'm down to 2%
Done.
on my
You're done.
phone. We got to sign
Thank
off.
you.
More
Thank you.
support
Thank
groups
you. Thank you.
every
Thank
single
you.
day while Broadway's shut down. I'm not doing anything else. So,
All right.
thank you so, so much. Stay strong. Keep
Thank
getting out
you.
there and getting some sunshine. Keep eating
Yeah.
all the foods you love, healthy and not so healthy. Just keep yourself well because we need you. And create.
We need all of us. I thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you guys for watching, those of you that sticked around for the entire thing, and just sending love out to my entire Broadway community and thus throughout the world.
Yay.